Welcome to the Cricket Bear office. We're here to announce the 14 successful players and management staff that will be representing our country in the upcoming ICC Under-19 World Cup qualifier in Toronto next month. To my left is Clay Smith, national coach, who's in charge of this bunch of boys, and he'll announce the players.
Dalen Richardson, captain. Anzari Painter, vice captain. Al-J Richardson. Amori Dean Simons. Cameron Jaffers. Jabari Darrow, Jade Morrissey, Marcus Scotland, Najaya Rayner, Nairobi Smith Mills, Kushai Darrow, Ross Solomon Burrows, Rudy Butterfield, and Jaden Manders. That's the 14 that has been selected to represent Bermuda.
Several of these players have had international exposure.
Yes, we have about, I want to say 6 players that are currently overseas in England. They'll be joining us. One actually flew back last night, and the rest will be joining us in the near future, prior to us leaving for Canada.
How long? This team has just been announced, but you've been in training how long now?
Well, this venture actually started last July when the group actually went over to Houston as an under-17 group to play against Canada and USA then. And then we got back together as of like the first week in January, and we've been working ever since January with this group.
We're in the group of Canada, USA.
Yes, yep, 3.
One go through in the double round robin.
Yeah. Like I said, we played Canada and USA last year in Houston. We were defeated. But the good thing is we were able to get a lot of footage of all the games, so we pretty much know them inside out, what they're going to be bringing to the table. It's just a matter of us putting together a good game plan, and hopefully the players are able to execute it. I would like to think that we have grown in stature a lot since last July, so hopefully we'll be able to close the gap and get a few wins.
And the board's been pretty generous in terms of their preparation. The official arrival date is July the 15th, but the squad will be going up early, so they get acclimatised and have practice games. So I think that will stand them in good stead.
There's obviously been talk from the ICC side that America could be expelled. What is the plan if there's changes to dates and times?
The impact of USACA being expelled has nothing to do with the playing side. So the ICC has found a way to run Project USA. It's been run by ICC Dubai. So that team isn't selected by USACA and is completely separate from that. So that motion to expel USACA in a week's time doesn't impact the cricket whatsoever.
So they'll be still allowed to play?
Yep. Yeah, that's been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, but we're reaching a different stage of it now, because they're talking about expelling the country.
They're expelling the national body, yeah, and the ICC have got their own Project USA that they're running, and those players are coming from that. It's a little bit counterintuitive.
Right. Obviously, you picked a team, Clay, that has a lot of diversity. You have one of your players going off to represent Bermuda in track and field later this month. How much time has he been allowed to have off to go and represent Bermuda in track and field and come back and be in your squad for a few weeks later? Yeah,
well, in Nairobi Mills you're referring to, this gentleman, he's been balancing it, and he's done a very good job because he's one of our regular trainers. He very seldom misses a training session. We do know that he's going to be going off for about a week or so, but I don't think it's going to impact him too much because, like I said, he's somebody that you can count on giving 100% when it comes to training and game time.
Got a chance to talk to Marcus Scotland yesterday. They've kind of taken wicket-keep duties from him to allow him to concentrate on batting. Is that something you're looking towards as well?
Oh, to be quite honest, it all depends on the makeup of the team. I have briefly talked to his father. We do have a specialist wicketkeeper. Actually, we have about 3 other wicketkeepers in this team. But depending on the balance of the team will depend on whether or not we utilize him as a keeper or not. He's somebody, again, that we do want to allow the freedom to bat and that be primarily his job. But if one or two of our wicketkeepers aren't doing a good job behind the stumps, then we may have to utilize him there and bring in another batsman or a specialist bowler. So it just depends on how the team's doing and the balance of the team on the day.
How much time have you spent with Dalen and Zari to go over visual game plans for these matches?
Well, unfortunately, Anzara is off the island, but he's somebody that I know has about the knowledge. He's very keen. In terms of Dale, and when we do our sit-downs or stuff like this, we actually do it as a group. Just about 2 weeks ago, we had a theory session with all the bowlers, whereby they had to give me their game plans for bowling to a left-hander, a right-hander, aggressive field, and defensive field, so that a lot of some of the weight is actually taken off the skipper's shoulders, because these bowlers are expected to know their fields, what to bowl to and what not to bowl to. Dalen, on the other side, being a senior player who has played at Stars, I've watched him and I've analysed him quite often through our practice games, and he knows the game really, really well. So if there's any discrepancy, I expect him to get it right on the day.
How important is it to get a good start? Obviously, because only one team's going through, so
Yeah.
you've got to hit the ground running when it comes to game time.
Exactly. So that's why I must thank the board, because they're allowing us to get over there early to play 2 practice games. It's going to allow us as a team to gel and do some things that, because like I said, 6 of our players are coming from the UK, so we haven't really had a chance. So that would allow us an opportunity to mix the batting order and see who does what well under what circumstances. And hopefully, like I said, by come game time against USA, the first game, that should put us in a good stead to try and get off on a good start.
That was the question there. Do you know who we're going to meet first? And you're saying USA first game.
Yeah, USA first.
We've got a tentative schedule. We're expecting that, but they haven't actually confirmed it. So it's
Knowing the wickets in Toronto, you've actually played there, coached there, and so forth. What team would you lean towards for the first game? Obviously, you want to match your opponents, but it also on the surfaces too.
Yeah, the wickets out there are fabulous. The outfield is extremely fast, so it's going to be a run feast. So we're going to have to make sure that we have enough depth to bat and put up a good total, but at the same time, I want a team that's very agile and mobile in the field, because field is going to be very critical in this competition. If we can build economically and field really well on that outfield, then we're going to have a good chance. So again, looking at our team, we have a good variety of players. I think I can't really say too much until after probably our practice games. When we see how players respond to the practice games, then we all sit down and decide whether we take that extra bat or that extra bowler come first game.
Considering the age of Scotland and probably one of the younger players of the team, was there any kind of reservations about him maybe being too young, or you just had them?
No, none whatsoever. I saw Scotland 2 years ago when we went over to Canada, went over to England, and I was very impressed from then. I saw him again last year, and he continued to impress me. So he's somebody, when you think about it, has probably played about 20 matches already. By time tournament time comes, he would have probably played between 20 to 30 games, which is a tremendous amount of cricket for a youngster. So there's no concern whatsoever. I know he's geared up and ready to go.
A lot of expectations on his shoulders in betting or whatever. Not expectations, but a lot of responsibility, basically.
Yeah, but I don't want to put all the pressure on him, because we have other players in this team that can bat, and the onus is on them as well to do the job. One thing I've stressed to these guys is to make sure some of our players, to make sure that they play as much as possible in our Premier League or in the First Division League on weekends, so that they get that exposure prior to going over. So a lot of onus is on these guys to perform, especially some of those guys that are playing in the Premier League that have that exposure already.
It's an encouraging aspect for the squad that many of these players will actually be eligible next time around.
It was a few years ago we hosted the Under-19 tournament here, and obviously not these same players, but where we fell short. How, as a coach, are you going to try to make sure that the small things that we failed at the last time around, we sort of pick up on to ensure you don't make the same mistake again?
You know what, cricket's a funny game, and to be quite honest with you, you could have the best of players that you want, you could have the best preparation that you want, but the game's actually played on the day. You could do all the preparation you want, but come game time, all you could do is make sure that your team is totally prepared, and we're doing our best to make sure that our team is prepared. The players know what they have to do. These guys, for me, it's just about painting a picture to them, helping them understand what's really at stake. The expectation, obviously, is probably a little bit low simply because we have a young team. But I'm a believer that when we step into a field of play, anything is possible, and we have to go there with the intention to win every game. It may not happen, but that has to be our intention. It's just a matter of going through the processes, and if we can do the processes well, then maybe we can surprise some of these teams.